Kakira, are you there? Kakira, somebody said they would want to pray from Kakira Secondary School. Have they walked away?
Yes, please. I'm available.
Would you lead us in a word of prayer, please?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Let's humble ourselves for the word of God. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everyone who has joined us in this meeting. We thank you for the organizers, Lord Jesus Christ. As we are going to have this meeting, we put everything in your hands so that whatever will be said will be used and will be for the good of this country. I pray all this believing and trusting in Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Okay. Thank you, Kakila, for leading us in a word of prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ronald Dungu from Ministry of Education and Sports. And I would like to thank you for the work you've been doing on the EMIS support group. I would like to welcome our friend, EMIS consultant, who is here to answer most of the questions that have not been answered. So before even I share the agenda, I would like to request that you use the chat to type out your challenges. Type out your challenges and please read the chat and do not repeat the challenges. If somebody has asked something, please don't request for the same, don't write down the same question, because then we repeat ourselves. We shall be using the questions in the chat for the first part of the session, and then we can open the microphones so that you can ask verbally some of the questions. So with that, I will actually mute everyone, and you will not be able to unmute yourself apart from the co-hosts for now. On our agenda this afternoon, we have prayer, and we've had the prayer. I'm going to do some welcome remarks, and then we will go straight to answering the challenges we face, and Jenkins is here to walk us through that. We hope that in about an hour, we should have gone through this, and then we shall concentrate the district meetings for head teachers scheduled for 27th April, and then we shall close. And hopefully, we will be able to answer most of the questions that you have, or else we continue on WhatsApp for the rest of the questions. So that is going to be our agenda. And I also want to request that we use the link that I'm going to post in the chat for registration. I know that most of the people here, or some of the people here, are not from schools, they are vendors. We will allow you to continue asking your questions, but unfortunately, you will not be able to register because the registration is for schools. And that now will take me into our welcome remarks. We would like to welcome you to this session. And in this session, we are hosting teams from schools. We are hosting teams from schools. We are not hosting everyone or anyone. We are hosting teams from schools. You will be here to contribute. You can post your question. You can listen in, but the registration is for schools. And going forward, we are now trying to create district support schools. And that means that our focus is in empowering school teams and not really empowering individuals. I also know that on our district support groups, we now have actually 3 groups. Group A had 1,020 members, but now I think it has dropped a little bit. Group B was also full with 1,020 members, and Group C is also picking up numbers. But our intention was to grow the capacity to implement EMIS. And that means that we will allow whoever is working on EMIS in the districts to join the groups. And we thank you for having joined. We thank those members, especially our administrators. Stephen is from Ginger. I have Abdu, who is from Chotela. And let me tell you, I have never met these people. We have Mr. Kaziba Stephen, who is in Kampala. And also we have Kasule, who is in Kampala. But I've not met Stephen from Ginger. I've not met Abdu from Chotela. I've not met Kasule from Kampala. I've only met Kaziba. So that means that the spirit of support is exhibited in doing something for the whole country and not for yourself. So these teams were created so that we can create a spirit of togetherness. I know that some people in the groups have been there to support themselves, and that is very good because you finally supported schools. And I hope the people who are on our groups are not the people who are exploiting schools, because we do not want to exploit schools. So going forward, we really want to create the district support schools. Some people registered schools as district support schools, but they had not consulted the head teachers, and that is not proper. We must consult the head teachers, because a district support team is a team of at least 4 people with a head teacher in a school and teachers who are working on EMIS. It could be 1 teacher or 2 teachers or 3 teachers or 4 teachers. We request that there are 3 teachers that can be trained so that they can support the school. And beyond the school, we want these teams to be able to support the district. And now we are talking about secondary schools coming together this week, both private and government. But beyond that, we want the secondary schools to link up with the primary schools. Our proposal is that if each secondary school in this country just decided to work with 1 primary school, then we can turn around the education in this country. And in particular, we can support the EMIS program. So going forward, we would like to see that all the secondary schools, both government and private, are on EMIS. They have registered their learners, they have registered their teachers, and they have someone who is working on EMIS, someone within the school, someone who can be consulted now and again. But I also know that secondary schools are using vendors, and that is a question that we want to answer as we go along with the secondary schools, because ultimately secondary schools must have ICT teachers, and the ICT teachers must support the EMIS program. I have been told, I've met some head teachers who have said that some ICT teachers are not helpful, and indeed, the helpful person is a mathematics teacher, the helpful person is an English language teacher, the DOS, and so on and so forth. So we would like to request the ICT teachers to become very active when there are ICT initiatives. There are many things to catch up on, there are ends to make, but please let us work with the schools to exhibit our skills as ICT teachers. I'm not an ICT teacher myself. I wasn't an ICT teacher before I joined the ministry. I was a mathematics teacher, mathematics, physics, but I wired myself to learn the basics in ICT. I'm not technical enough, but that does not stop me from mobilizing technical people to do the work in schools. However, even if the mathematics teacher is doing it, the ICT teacher is expected to do it better. We will be talking more about that when we meet the district support teams on their own. However, for now, we are here to get our answers to the questions we have. So I would like to welcome you to this meeting and welcome all my colleagues, if any, from the ministry. Welcome the admins on the district support groups, if they are already on, and welcome everybody who has been active on the district support group. I also know that there are people who will be joining us and they are not on the district support group. I'll put the link to the WhatsApp group in the chat so that we can continue registering on both WhatsApp and the registration for the meeting. With that, I want to wish you fruitful deliberations and request Jenkins to share his screen if there is any presentation he wants to do. But otherwise, Jenkins, I want us to consider the questions that are already coming up in the chat and we begin answering the questions. What I would do is to export the chat and then share it so that we can use it to answer the questions. In the meantime, over to you, Jenkins. As you introduce yourself, I will look for the chat and export it so that we can consider it for our questions. Thank you. Jenkins, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ronald Dungu. Hello, Tim. I go by the names of Jenkins Nambisha. I'm an IMIS consultant with SNS1. And the ones who have developed this system, IMIS, on behalf of Ministry of Education and Sports. So I'm here to help you in regards to any challenges or any issues. You can be able to raise them. I've already seen around 2 issues in the chats, which maybe I can start with. As we get some hands also being raised and we see how to resolve some of these issues. As Mr. Dungu had mentioned, if an issue is related to something someone has posted, then it shouldn't be repeated, because I'm seeing over 3 issues in regards to index numbers have been repeated in the chat. Maybe Mr. Dungu will clarify that to the team. So I can maybe start with the first issue we have here from St. Charles High School. It's in regards to a learner who is in senior 1, yet is supposed to be in senior 4. So this issue in regards to editing of class, because most of the institutions had that challenge and we had locked the class issue. Now to edit the class, there's going to be a period. It's going to be called an amendment period, whereby all institutions will be able to edit class, gender, date of birth, and sex of the learner. So until that period has begun, the edit option for the class is not available. Then if I move to the next question, the next one was, check. Oh, no.
Jenkins, I'm sharing the screen. The next one is from Opio.
Where is it?
So, that one is not a question, I think.
This is not a question, this is just an appreciation. The next one is, that is from IMIS System.
High School.
Nagawa High School. IMIS System hardly recognizes UC index numbers, which makes it hard to register A-level students in the system. Now, majority of users have been facing the challenge of system error, server error, and that's an issue that actually we're currently resolving. However, there's a link we came up with, it's more of a Google form, where an institution is required to enter its IMIS number, the index number, the class, and the exam year, and this is going to be followed up and you can be able to have it resolved so that you can be able to enter the learner within the time period that has been set in the IMIS calendar. So maybe in the chat here, I'm going to share that link. Let me just copy this link. Yeah, I've shared the link, and I think this is the same link Mr. Dungu will share in the district groups. It's a Google form where they will enter their information, including the exact error they are facing when they're trying to register their learners. What's the next one?
Yes, from
the next one we have it's also
okay.
it's the same institution, it's the same school in it.
Okay, let me see the next questions. I'll come back here and share the next set of questions. From Kakira. Here. It's about the website. Sometimes there's server error. What could be the solution to that?
I think that's the same issue that I've been talking about in regards to server error.
Okay.
It is still being resolved, though, however, a number of schools, at least majority of them, have been able to register, but those who have failed, we're still trying to have it resolved. That's why we have the Google form for you to go for us the records, so we can have it in the record time.
Okay. Next from Appeal, our challenge in the data upload includes inability to correct errors in wrong class entered, getting a system error message when uploading senior 1 data.
Yes, and that's the same thing I mentioned, inability to correct errors in wrong class. Now for the class bit, as I mentioned, class, gender, sex, and date of birth is going to be an amendment the ministry will set so that schools can be able to make those changes. But in regards to system error, that is happening in majority of senior 1 and senior 5. But also we're having those other exam years, for example, trying to register 2019, 2015, they will receive the same challenge.
Okay, the next is, this was direct to me. Somebody says, I submitted my form with approval from the teacher, but I wasn't selected. No one has been selected. The issue is that the head teachers are going to meet on Thursday, and the ASHU team will help us identify those schools that are ready to support others by seeing how active they are at that meeting. So that will be done at the meetings. All of us, we have the list, but then we have to confirm those by actions at the meeting on Thursday. Okay, Edwin, transfer of learners is still inactive.
Is it? Transfer of learners still inactive? Maybe he needs to specify exactly what area he is facing.
Hello, he's saying that he cannot transfer learners.
Yeah, but maybe he needs to specify what error message is he getting whenever he tries to transfer. Or is he facing a blank screen?
Jenkins, are we losing you?
I'm on actually. Can you hear me?
We did not hear the last words you said.
Yes, he needs to specify exactly what error message he's getting when he's trying to transfer. Or is he having a blank screen when he transfers under a random module?
I think Edwin is saying that when he tries to transfer a learner, the function is not active. Is that what is true?
Is Edwin on the line so I can elaborate more on this?
Let me just confirm, Jenkins, if you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Are you making out the question here? Is it only me who is not hearing you, Jenkins?
No, I was saying that my question is, what error message is he facing when he's trying to transfer the learners?
Oh, okay. No, he's
Yes,
just
is he-
saying that it is not
Mm.
active. That's true.
So in not active, how is he experiencing a blank screen?
Okay, we will ask Edwin Edwin, raise your hand so that you can explain this. Jenkins, the next one is from Ogwang. How do we register that learners who start PLE before 2005?
Okay, now the ministry is trying to work with the UNEP to be able to get data below 2015. So the exam years below 2015 should be on the system by May. So when the ministry is trying to work fast in order to have that data on the system. Because from the period of last year, we still have data of up to 2015 to 2022 currently. So they will be able to register that adult of 2005 or a learner of 2014 in the coming weeks, which will be communicated.
Okay, just to add that UNEP data before 2015 was different. The fields were not the same as the fields that were issued out from 2015 upwards. So it wasn't quick to migrate that data, but that is being worked on. And we request that those 5 or 10 people you have, for now, they should not stop you from entering data of other learners. Okay, we are now at Atandu Fred. Comment on the issue of some index numbers, especially for senior ones, and the system failed to accept them. And up to now, the learners have not been uploaded.
Yes, this is the same response we gave in regards to the earlier questions, which were posing an error message to the users of system error, server error. This is still being resolved. However, a link has been shared in the chat here. At the same time, it's going to be shared in the district forums so that we can be able to have those specific index numbers registered. As Mr. Dingo had mentioned, at times when information, for example, certain columns or certain data that is supposed to be captured is missing, especially when it comes to a learner, we end up facing that challenge because the system is picking certain fields from the data we have gotten from UNEP. So we're having that resolved currently.
Okay, Mr. Kavale SS, can you open your microphone, Kavale SS, and speak? Kavale SS. Kavale SS, I've requested you to unmute. Okay, Johnson Okot.
Are you hearing? Yes, Kabare SS.
Okay, go
Yes,
on,
we can
Kavale
hear you.
SS. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Yes, my
Oh.
question was, you've answered me. We are facing a challenge of those students who like finished their senior fours before 2015, like we have of 2009, 2008. That was the first challenge you answered me. You said by May you solve that problem. Another challenge we are facing, like you put students, most especially these senior fives, those who have just come to senior 5, when you put them, they tell you system error. We don't know why. For senior 1, they are going, you register fresh, those who miss registration in primary. But for senior 5, they say system error. That is another challenge I'm facing. Then another suggestion I was requesting, if you can, you made Lean to be open, search for Lean, you can easily access Lean numbers of most of the students. Like we were requesting, if you can close that one to be, so that the system becomes private, because a student may leave school minus paying school fees. When they go, you can easily search for the link. Like we find students are going and coming, and their links are easily accessed. We are requesting if you can make that one private so that not everyone can access the student's link. Then another challenge we are facing, like you find the number you have on the system, they are not the number of students you have. Like example, if I make a transfer, that student is not deleted from my system. Let's say example, one student has left my school and gone to another school. The school will make a transfer and the student stays in my system and goes to the other system. You find I have like 150 students in senior 4 instead of 135, because most have left and they have done transfers, and I've received new students, like they are not corresponding. I was requesting maybe if a student is made a transfer, you delete that student from the system. From my school, goes to the other school permanently. Thank you.
Okay, Jenkins, can we take that?
Okay, the first one in regards to making access to the students' link from Kavala SS, in regards to accessing the students' lane and making it private, this one will be table to the ministry. However, currently, I do not have the final decision on that, but shall be able to raise it to the ministry with regards to the issue you have raised, where learners are moving and they're not paying fees and they're just being transferred because the lane is easily accessible. Then the second question in regards to the transfer, whereby once a learner has been transferred and can still be counted in the school, well, there's a service we are currently going to run, which is going to handle the issue of duplicates. So once the learner has been transferred, as long as you can see in the education history, the learner has left your school, that shouldn't be a worry because this is also being worked on. And in the coming months, you'll find that the learner has actually moved from your school. So those were the two. The third one you had mentioned is system error, server error. That one we explained it. It's happening most especially for senior 1 and senior 5 learners. And the form which I've shared, it's a link to a Google form. You'll be able to give us the information in regards to the EMIS number of the school, exam year, index number, and you also give us the exact error this learner is facing. We shall be able to have all those index numbers that are facing that challenge resolved.
Okay, access of lien came about when primary schools, especially primary schools, were not issuing out the liens. And we know that they had a challenge. The vendors walked away with everything. Of course, we are not aware of whether the vendors were paid or not paid. That is not a matter we're going to, but we needed to enable schools to move on. So we have a calendar and we follow a calendar. After a certain period, certain things close. Like you don't have ability to edit now. I'm sure somebody is going to ask a question on that, but we close out as and when necessary. And then like Jenkins has said, after transfers or claims, then there will be data cleaning so that they move to their right destinations. Okay, Okoth. Johnson Okoth, unmute. Members, we are going back to the chat. We are waiting for the chat to grow in numbers. Martha, unmute.
Hello.
Yes, Martha, go ahead.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon, Martha.
From Namaingo. I have a challenge, one challenge here. There is a student who is supposed to be in senior 4 now, but he got an accident, so he sat 2 years. Instead of being in senior 4, they demoted him to senior 1. When they heard about registering EMIS, they brought his document to enter him. He's now having the RIN number, but he's in senior 1. Yet we registered him when he's in senior 2. When he was senior 3, how can I go about this issue? And another thing, we have that one.
Martha, just be clear. Maybe I'm the one failing to. Who registered him in senior 1?
He was supposed to be in senior 4 now. And he got an accident. He sat 1 year back, like he never came to school. When they heard about the MEC registration, they brought his documents at school. When he came back to school, he got another admission because he sat 1 year. They told him he cannot manage senior 4. Now, because of the new curriculum, they told him to start afresh in senior 1. Now he's in senior 1, yet we registered him in senior 3.
Oh, so he must go back to senior 1.
Senior 1.
Okay.
If I
Another
can
one.
ask,
Okay, Jenkins.
yes, maybe if I can ask Martha, is he in the current academic year of 2023 or is in last year's academic year 2022?
I promoted them all in 2023.
Even him, he was promoted?
He was promoted because they told me he's present. So for me, I just promoted him. Today he came to me and said they demoted me to senior 1 because of the new curriculum. He cannot repeat senior 3. Now
No, okay. Okay, now that's one. How you solve that is, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be that amendment period. Now, we have some cases where users were saying they want to delete certain learners, the information they put was wrong. So in that amendment period, they'll be able to edit the class, the gender, sex, date of birth, and even deleting. But this time around, how learners will be deleted, it will be deleted on request.
Okay.
Yes, so basically you need to wait until the ministry decides that amendment period. But as per now, since the learner has been registered, that is okay. But when the amendment period starts, you can either edit the class or you'll be able to delete the learner and register them again.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Okay, I'm hoping that we are all listening in because these are the questions you are going to meet in those meetings if you intend to participate in those meetings. You are going to find the same questions, and we want you to be able to give the right information. Nixon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Nixon.
Now, my question, we are facing a challenge with the A-level numbers. I mean, like, I guess in the A-level students, because you realize that every time you enter an index number of senior 4, the system tells you, like, to bring out an error. So I don't know how best we can do with this, because really many students are having such challenges, and the system keeps on saying error. So I don't know how best, Mr. Ronald, you can help me to sort out this.
I think this question is being repeated multiple times. I don't know, should we explain? Is this someone who has just joined the call?
Probably, but also Jenkins, I hope it's not the issue of capital letters. Because
so it depends on the error. What error message
it's all about the index number. If you have entered the right index number, but still the system fails to recognize that index number and tells you
the error message is wrong index number format, right?
Yeah, it's wrong index number format.
Okay, now that's a different question. Now, in regards to the wrong index number format, it's we're still resolving it. However, to enter that learner, currently the fix that is there is you just put the caps lock on. Leave the caps lock enabled on your keyboard and be able to type it in. However, we're going to come up with a full solution to it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Please,
just leave the caps lock on and be able to enter it. Do not copy and paste. Be able to enter the index number manually, and it will go through. But however, we're going to come with a permanent fix for that.
Johnson or Coast, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Finally. Mhm.
Yes, finally. Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies.
Good afternoon.
My problem basically is on foreign students whom I have failed since last year to register. And I don't know what solution you have for me. Then two, the second one has been answered about the editing information, which you have still failed, especially if some data which is wrong has been entered. To correct it becomes a little bit difficult. I have one case of a student. As I was entering, she gave me the NIN number of the parent. And now when after I entered, I submitted, and it brought now the parent's information as a student. This is a parent who was born in 1954, being in senior one and being 15 years old. So I just request how you can help
Jenkins,
me.
is that clear? The question
Yes,
clear?
I'm listening. Yeah, it's clear.
So I'm just requesting on how to edit that information. Then lastly, how do we search for this lien? Because I have tried to search the liens and that error code still comes. That error problem ever.
Oh, I missed
Let's give
the
Jenkins time.
I missed the last question of error.
Yeah, when I enter, somebody gives me the child gives me a PLE index number, and I would like to search for her lien in the system, but instead it gives me that system error.
What message? Because the system error usually comes with another error message.
Sometimes it says the whatever information is not found. Okay.
Yes.
That somebody of that lien or that that index number is not found in the system.
Okay, so maybe I can start with the last one. Okay, when it brings the person is that the records you have typed do not match in the system, it means that learner was never registered in IMIS.
Okay.
Yes, so the next try you need to do whenever you search and that message comes, you go under IMIS data upload and register this learner as a new learner in your school.
Okay.
Then the issue in registration of foreign students, are you looking at foreign non-refugee or you're looking at registration of refugee students?
Foreign non-refugee students.
So registering
these
them
are the
with,
cases I have.
Are you trying to register them with the equated codes that your neighbors availed them?
Yes, I did with one. By the way, the girl even had to go without being registered. She wasn't successfully registered last time. Of course, I had the equated results and I kept entering. In fact, the code was not matching anywhere. I don't know whether that by that time there was nothing as yet. So I tried to enter the registration code you never gave me, but the system rejected.
Okay, now in regards to registration of foreign students, especially when it comes to the secondary level, now we usually verify our codes with UNEP because we've integrated with UNEP. And the part of equated codes, we're still getting that data from UNEP. And once that has been matched with the fields we are capturing, your learners will be registered. The ministry is well aware that some of these learners haven't yet been registered, especially the foreign learners.
Yes.
So there's going to be a special period that will be set for that registration once those fields have been captured in the system.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, then in regards to editing, that one you said that I already answered it. There will be an amendment period as well in regards to that, and it will be communicated.
All right, thank you.
Jenkins, I was getting interested in that bit of the father's when they put in the NIN, then the father's details are the ones that came in as student.
Okay. Now, what causes that is when you're registering secondary and you put the index number of the child, the system prompts you to enter the NIN of the child. So majority of users make a mistake and end up entering the parent's NIN, and yet the parent's details field is the one below after entering the learner's information. Now, to resolve that issue, you wait until that amendment period whereby you need to delete this learner and be able to add them again.
Okay.
Yeah, you delete and you'll be able to register this learner again. That will be during the amendment period. And as I had mentioned, for deleting, it won't be like in how we had done in the period of January, February, whereby it was a matter of you going to delete. This time around, you request for a delete. You choose an option of deleting a learner. It will be approved at the ministry level.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I think mine has been answered.
Okay, Johnson, you can close. If you don't have a name on your, we don't see a true name or name of a school, we will not select you to speak. So TechnoSpark, please do rename yourself. Mujuni
Yes.
Deus. Mujuni Deus.
Mine is called Davan Girls.
Okay,
Is
good
that
evening,
TechnoSpark?
MS team.
Mujuni
That
Yes.
is Jonathan Okoth.
Yes, please.
Johnson Okoth is Davan Girls in Busia. Davan
Okay,
Girls
but
Secondary,
what I'm
Busia.
saying, somebody TechnoSpark, rename yourself. Mujuni
Yes.
Deus.
Yes, good afternoon, team MS.
Good afternoon, Deus.
I'm fine, thank you. I want to appreciate the changes you made in the system, because today I've managed to register senior ones who missed to be registered in primary. The index numbers were accepted. I'm glad for that. Then secondly, the challenge I'm still facing is about those students who completed the P7 senior 4 way back before 2015. And if you are selecting the exam year in the system, it only stops at 2015. So far I have two in my school. One is in senior 4 who completed the P7 in 2009, and another one is in senior 6 who completed 2014. So I need more clarification about that. Then lastly is about the human resource, the teacher's registration. There is that option of teacher being trained or qualified. When I opt for qualified, some teachers who did the bachelor's in any other field, apart not education, then later did PGD in education, we've been instructed that they lie under qualified. But when you choose qualified, other details containing the payroll system are not surfaced. So how should we handle such cases? Thank you very much for listening to me.
Okay, Deus, before you go,
yes,
let
please.
Let me see if we can come to the same page. A trained teacher is the one who has undergone teacher training.
Yes,
whether BSc or PGDE.
Oh,
a qualified teacher is the one who has just joined the school because of his qualification, ICT, maybe physics. So.
Oh, I've got the difference now.
You get the difference.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Then, of course, you had the first question, which has been repeated. But maybe Jenkins wants to say something.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't. It's okay, he must have joined yet. So as we had talked about it with Ronald, we said that in regards to these exam years that are below 2015, the data that was gotten was not matching the fields that were being captured at initial stage. So initially, when IMIS was rolled out to the users, the data we had was from 2015 to 2020. Now, the other exam years we had received, the fields that we were capturing then were not matching. Some fields were missing. So this is what the ministry is working on in order to have all the exam years in place so that even learners of 2009, 2006, 2012, 2014 can be registered. So there'll be another period in regards to registering those specific learners that haven't yet been registered on IMIS.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, Jenkins, I want us to go back to the chat. There are quite a number of questions that have come in. Let's see where we started, we ended. I think we have to go to Tandu. We had done that from Kabale. Yes, she has asked that. Technospark, I think your question is the same. Romanzi Victor entered learners without classes, but now facing a challenge of promoting them. I think you've been answered.
Oh,
Editing is your time.
maybe let me first
You
explain
want
on
to
this
say
part.
something? Yes.
Yes. Now, Rumanzi and the rest of the team. Now, the issue of those learners that were registered without classes, the challenge came in, maybe I'm explaining for you what happened. During upload, the time when we were using Excel templates to upload data, they drop down each field. You find that they had a specified drop down of classes. So for example, for secondary, you find that the secondary classes that we had that the system was capturing was S1, S2, S3, and onwards. However, the users were typing S.1, S.2, 1, S.2 dot like that. So when you add the dot, the system was not capturing the information in regards to the classes. Now, how do we promote these learners? The quickest solution we have come up with right now is this learner who was in the previous academic year and does not have a class, register them afresh currently. Then there's going to be a deduplication service that's going to be running, and it's going to merge the data so that this learner is not a duplicate. I hope that one has been clear.
Okay.
Have we understood that?
Yes, please.
Maybe
those learners that don't have classes and then the previous academic year, register them afresh. Then when it's there's going to be a service that's going to be run more of like a script, and that service is going to merge this learner according to the index number details. So you're not going to have a duplicate.
if I do not register them again, what will happen?
If you don't register them again, of course, currently you just have to wait until the amendment period. But however, due to cause of the continuous assessment and also the fact that liens are now required, the quicker solution was that in regards to those without classes.
Yeah, because now this work was done by vendors and they have closed shop, they have gone. 1,000 of the learners in my school, and I'm looking at it now, registering them again. But like you say, we are also beaten by time, and we want to move on with this and the other. Otherwise, we have to wait for that period when
yes, they can maybe wait for the amendment period.
The amendment
but in
period.
case someone cannot wait, then basically that's a solution that's available.
Okay, I think the next question to that would be, when is the amendment period? And that is coming back to the ministry. I think we need to think quickly after the close of the MS calendar period, which is 5th May. I hope we will not be asking for extensions, and then we see what happens so that the amendment period comes to us quickly. I know that many people are waiting for this. Many people want to edit, and we are not allowing them to edit. So that is a big problem. But let's move on from Mbarara district. UNEP 22 data is not yet uploaded. Is that true?
I guess the challenge they were facing is the system error, server error, and of which it has been happening from April. So you find some learners were not being verified. So basically, the information has been uploaded, but those that are failing, as I mentioned, there's a link we have shared in the chat, which we shall share in the district groups, and you can access the Google form and be able to enter that information in regards to these learners, and we shall see as a technical team on how to have them resolved. I had one of the users mentioning today that previously they were unable to register their learners, but this morning they have been able to register. So it's a work in progress, but we're working fast to have it resolved immediately.
Jenkins, can we request that maybe you create a WhatsApp message on that and the link so that it is shared in the 3 groups.
Okay, maybe you can give me a reminder
post
after
it.
this meeting.
Okay.
After this meeting, I'll be able to do that.
Okay. Atando is back. How do we register foreign learners from Rwanda who have no index numbers? All foreign learners, their results must be taken to UNEB, and UNEB verifies those, but UNEB told us that they will provide codes. They'll be providing codes, which codes will be uploaded in the system, and then you will use that code. So foreign learners, I think that is the issue. Maybe Jenkins, you have anything different from this?
So that is 100% correct. And the code will be an equivalent to the index numbers that we're having in the country as Uganda.
Okay, one Derek to everyone. How can we transfer students who have errors of not having classes set because these students cannot be? Okay, that was answered. That was answered. If Derek, you want to add to that, you will raise your hand for that. This was Patrick, and this was, I have a challenge of registering S5 saying learner not found, and yet they have UCE index number. Any hint on this? Jenkins, is this different?
Okay, when they mention learner not found, basically that learner is not in the database. So use the form, the Google form that I've mentioned, which we're going to post in the district groups, and be able to give us that information, the MS number of the school, the exam year, the index number, and the exact error message that you're receiving. Then we shall be able to have them.
I know it is a challenge for members to find the MS number of the school, but when you request the admins on the group, they could be able to help you find that MS number of the school quickly. And this is, I'm hoping, because people are failing to find the MS number of the school, the search for that is becoming difficult for them. Is there
No,
any
the MS
advice
number
you are
we're
giving?
looking at is that the MS number we're asking for is the MS number of the school that is trying to register this land.
Oh,
if I'm
okay.
a teacher and I've logged in and I'm trying to
Okay.
register this land and I've failed, I go to my institution and I just pick the MS number from there and I be able to put it in. So want
Okay.
your current MS number that you're going to admit this child in.
Okay, Edwin says, why is it that in the system the class is okay, but when you export the Excel file, the class is wrong compared to that in the system?
Edwin, I request if you can create a ticket on the system and we can be able to investigate this. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Okay,
I
Edwin.
need first to look into your institution in specific.
Okay, now last Livia from Vura says claiming a student from another school with a lien number isn't possible.
Okay, maybe if she can tell us the error that she's facing. The error message can easily help me to explain what has caused it. Nalwa Silva, you can be able to air your voice and we hear.
Naura, you will put up your hand and explain exactly the error here. I don't know if Naura is, Naura, unmute. Naura?
Yes.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, please.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon.
This is Naula Silvia from Vora Secondary School.
Yes.
The problems I'm facing are that when, for example, I'm claiming a student who was formerly registered from another school to the current school, it doesn't accept.
What
It
error
doesn't
message do you
accept the
get?
claim.
What error message do you get?
It says the current student cannot be claimed.
So the current student is not eligible for claim, right?
That is what it says.
Yes. Now, claiming a student, maybe I'm explaining for you. Claiming a student is in regards to claiming a learner who was wrongly registered in another school. The cause of this was institutions were using Excels but entering wrong index numbers for these learners. So you find a learner has been registered in a school which is not supposed to be in, but with the parents' details of another learner. So when you go to learner claim and you enter the index number of this learner and exam year, then at the same time you enter the correct parents' details that were registered in this wrong school, the system will not accept you to claim this learner. So was the learner wrongly registered in that school, or you registered that learner yourself in another school because maybe you didn't have an EMIS number?
I tried re-registering him in this other school where he has transferred, but it has still failed.
Transferred, maybe you can explain that. You transferred from the other school?
He was registered formerly in the other school.
Are you the one that did the registration?
Sorry?
Are you the one
Are
that
you the one who did the registration?
No,
No,
the previous
he's-
registration was not
yes.
done by me, by the other school, in the other school.
Okay,
He
was it a
only
wrong school,
transferred.
or you were aware that this learner was registered in that school?
I'm aware that the student was registered from the other school.
Okay, that means basically the parents' details and the name of the learners were correct.
Mhm.
Do you think the
Is
other
it?
school put in the right details? That
It
is
could
not
be
possible.
because he registered, and when you try to check, even the lean number is there. But when I try to follow those procedures, to try like maybe to claim him from the other school, it doesn't still.
Okay, that
even
learner, that
transfer
means,
is-
maybe if I ask, that learner studied in this school, which you're aware of, but you want to transfer him to your school, right?
Yes.
Now use the transfer module. Claiming is for claiming those learners that were that were wrongly registered in another school. So you need to use the transfer module to transfer that learner from one school to yours.
The transfer one,
Yeah, use the transfer module.
But even that one, because I kept on trying all these, even when I used that transfer, then it brought that other box to feed in all the informations like the parents' name, what. I fed all these things, but it still refused. And if you're to check on his details from the other side, because currently the boy is in senior 6, but he has not even been promoted to senior 6 from the other school.
And the other school is in senior 5.
Yeah, it's still reading senior
in senior 5.
Yes.
Okay, but is the class there?
Sorry?
Is the class showing in the other school?
Yes, the class is showing senior 5.
Okay, you just raise a ticket on the system and I will see how to have that resolved. Because I need to also get a deep understanding on where exactly the error is coming from.
All right.
I think Jenkins, the mean of the parents registered is different from what is being presented now.
If it's different, then the learner should be able to be claimed. Because basically, why we added the claim module is I put a wrong index number for a correct learner and a correct parent's details, but the system verified the index number and gave that parent to another learner. Yes. So just create a ticket on the system, then we can see how to follow up.
Could it be that this learner is in the archive in the other school, because in the other school he's still in senior 5, and yet here he's in senior 6?
That is okay. If he's archived, that is very fine, because basically that school was not supposed to promote or repeat the learner. The learner was transferred from one school to the other.
Yes.
Yes. So she needs to log a ticket, then we see how to look into it.
Okay, we shall locate the student, logging, and then since we have meeting also tomorrow, I'll keep informing you on this.
Okay.
On Thursday, I mean.
Okay.
And then, excuse me, sir.
Okay,
I had another question. We have a student who was registered. A student was registered last year. That is in senior 4. But then he came back to receipt senior 4. How do we register this student?
This student you said was registered in senior 4, right?
Yes, last year.
That's last year in a given school or in your school.
In our school.
So now he has come back to receipt senior 4.
Oh yes.
Basically, you just go to promotion and you repeat the learner.
We go to promotion.
Promotion, you go once you're in the academic year 2023. Once you go to a module under learners called promotions, you search for senior 4 class, select this learner. I think when the steps have already been shared in the group, select the learner, then after you click promotion, then you put promotion status as repeated. He will stay in that same class.
Okay.
Okay, that is, thank you, Vura SS. Nganwa High School says we also have issues with edit learner, that one for transitioning learners, for example, editing a learner from O level, transitioning to A level. The system requires adding their UCE index numbers and changing the exam year. We have cases of students whose exam years for senior 5 were not changed from 2017 for their PLE to 2022 for USC. Unfortunately, their data was changed and now we can't edit the exam year to correct that error. Okay, so this is editing, I think, Jenkins.
Yes, this is editing, yeah.
I was reading it to see what else is there. Okay, editing, you have, there is someone here. How do you register non-citizens?
Okay, non-citizens, we're looking at the foreign non-refugee learners who are, if for example, is this secondary? Are we all the users here for secondary or mixed?
I think they're secondary here.
Secondary. Okay, so to register the foreign non-refugee learners and the refugee learners, you must get an equated code from your name. Now, with that equated code gotten, you can be able to register these learners on IMIS. Now, in the system, we also we move further to ask about if this learner is a refugee or not. If they're a refugee, you'll be asked for the refugee number. If they are not, they'll be asked for a student pass.
Okay.
And the student pass is acquired from Immigration at Ministry of Internal Affairs. The refugee number is acquired from UNHCR at the Office of the Prime Minister.
Okay. Fortunate, how do we upload the current S1s? Fortunate saying uploading current S1s.
Okay, so Fortunate, uploading the current S1s, you go to IMIS data upload. Once you have logged in, on the side menu, there's a module called IMIS data upload. Then you click on upload data. Then you'll be presented with an IMIS return, which you click on update. Then you go to learners. Then from learners, you'll be able to click a button called update learner information. So from there, you'll be able to enter the learner details and register your learners. In case of any challenge, you can be able to post in the group and someone will be able to share with you the step-by-step process of how to register a learner. Because here in IMIS, we're here to help each other, and those district groups have right now a number of experts that can actually guide you on the step-by-step processes.
I think here he may want to know if the learner was registered in primary already.
Well, if you try to register a learner, you will get an error if the learner is already registered.
Okay, but just go through the process of transition now, I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe she's looking at the S1, the ones who have already been registered with LINs. Now, if a learner already has a LIN and was registered in the primary school, they will use a module called the transition module, which is found under the learner module. You'll find a module called transition, and under transition, it's a matter of entering the learner's LIN, and you'll be presented with the details of this learner. and which you will verify. And once verified, you can be able to admit this learner to senior 1. Same applies to the senior 5 learners, especially if they have been registered in senior 4, use the transition module. But in case this is a new learner to EMIS and has never been registered, then that's when you use the EMIS data upload module to upload them.
Okay, there is this question which keeps coming. Here, learners who start last year are not captured in the examination year when you try to enter in 2022. I think you need to talk about that form once and for all now.
Okay, so members, as I mentioned, the learners of senior 1, senior 5 that have been facing the challenge during upload, and users have been facing the error of system error, server error, we are having that resolved. But currently, we have come up with a Google form whereby you can be able to input for us the EMIS number of the school that you're trying to register as learner in, the exam year of this learner, the index number, and the exact system error that you are facing. Once that information has been populated, we're working ways on having it resolved day in and day out, so that at least once it's resolved, we can communicate and users can be able to register those learners who have failed again.
Okay. There is one here who is saying, could there be any other way of registering S1 in secondary schools without consulting primary schools for liens?
Yes, the module of such lien is available, and the step-by-step process is going to be shared in the group as again. Then you'll be able to search for the lien of this learner, and using that lien, you can be able to register a learner. In case a learner does not have a lien, you can be able to register them as a new learner within your institution, and they'll be assigned a learner identification number.
Okay. From Patrick, my request is for more time so that we can do more than this 1 week left. Okay, that is Patrick's request. Patrick, let's see how far we can go by close of the EMIS calendar. I will.
I think someone's audio is on. Okay.
Okay, I have had to break that one. Somebody saying registration DIT closes on that. Does that mean that learners will do late registration? I think the DIT requires lien. Yes, this will be considered if it requires lien and you don't have a lien because you could not register them there due to the period of below 2015. We will then be able to resolve that at the level of the ministry. Fortunate, when I tried to upload the current S1s, they were giving me 1 by 1. Is it possible to upload them as 1 file? I think this is using the Excel file. Now,
Yes,
can we let
yes,
us
Gerard,
just
continue.
respond? Let us just respond to the Excel file once and for all. Why we cut out the Excel file?
Okay, so members, as you're aware, when the system opened for entry of data, majority of users who had previously used the system had the option of uploading a learner 1 by 1 using the web form. They had the option of uploading learners using an Excel template where they could upload up to 1,000 learners or 500 learners at a go. But the challenge with this that was faced especially with secondary schools is that schools were using data entrance, and you find that a data entry who has been hired to enter data reaches a point and they enter wrong information. Or for example, these learners avail wrong index numbers or wrongly capture the index numbers on these forms that were availing for registration. So this one caused a number of issues, which led to some learners wrongly being registered in another school. It led to issues of some learners not being registered with classes. It led to issues of some learners being left in pending, especially when you go to the data upload status. So we decided for this period, which was set from March until 5th of May, let users be able to register these learners one by one. This allows them to be able to verify the details of every learner as they save them. So this one reduces the margin of risk of being able to enter a learner wrongly. So I think that one, I hope to resolve that, but at a later stage, the Excels will be brought back in order for people to be able to upload. But currently, we shall be using one by one upload module, which is the web form where you add the learner one by one.
Okay, of course it might be slow, but it is more accurate than the Excel file for now. Okay, Atando Fred is now asking about challenges, is having challenges in uploading the data of non-teaching staff. Please comment on this issue, but what is the actual challenge? Jenkins, maybe if you can talk general about non-teaching staff.
Currently, I haven't really gotten any issue on non-teaching staff, but maybe as Mr. Fred can put up, I don't know whether Fred can actually tell us what area he's facing, but non-teaching staff are those ones within an institution. For example, the secretaries, the bursars, the head teachers, deputy head teachers, the cooks, the cleaners, the lab attendants. Those are the different non-teaching staff. So Fred, if you can maybe tell us what error you're facing trying to register this stuff, because I think majority of users have been focusing on the learners and they haven't been focusing on the other EMIS data that needs to be captured and needs to be captured during this period. Is Fred online?
This is Atando Fred. Are you there?
I've asked him to unmute.
Yes, Atando.
Yes, please.
Yes, if you can tell us which error you have been facing in regards to registration of non-teaching staff.
Good afternoon, everyone. The challenge was if you try to upload it, it was not active.
When you say it's not active, when it's not
you
active,
enter the
you mean
details
like,
and you enter the details and you enter the details and they want to verify, like just the one for teaching staff. It does not verify and it does not upload it.
Does it bring any error?
It does not show any error, but it just goes off.
Okay, now you need to try it with another browser, then you let us know.
All right.
Okay, there is this long one. Of course, it is about refugee learners, and you know the issues that have been there for refugee numbers.
Yeah, those ones have been there, yes.
Is there a comment you want to make general on this refugee issue?
How to register refugee learners since they do not have parents' names or passports? Parents' passports, when we upload a file of refugee learners, they were never registered. Now we cannot upload them since they have refugee numbers that are not recognized by the system. I think this issue that was there, which was, I think it was a week ago, was in regards to if one selects a refugee learner, you find it's asking for the parent's passport. That issue was resolved, and currently if you try to register a refugee learner, the parent's refugee number will be required. Now, a refugee number that we set in the system is a 12 alphanumeric number that should be entered. So the format, I don't know which other format that the users have, but this is the format that was available to us from UNHCR. It can be either DLL, RM, a number. So it depends with a hyphen in between, then some digits. So it's a 12 alphanumeric. But the issue of refugee number being required, asking for parents' passport, that one was resolved. It will ask for the parents' refugee number as well.
Okay, I think I've seen some people saying that the refugee number has 13, 14, and I can hear that you have a 12 alphanumeric format. So probably that is something that needs to be resolved from the office where they get the refugee numbers. But that issue of refugee, I think we will continue following it up to make sure that within the confinement of refugee settlements, the right information is given to the people.
Yes, and also maybe another thing I should mention, the ministry is working with the, especially for the foreign learners, the ministry is working with the immigration to see if a number of these learners that do not have student pass can be given a temporary code that they can use for a given period of time as their information is being collected to be availed the actual student pass number that they'll be using to verify with immigration at the later stage.
Okay, Deus is back and is saying, I'm glad that the system has accepted registration of S1 learners who missed being registered. Today, I've registered 5 learners in senior 1. I like the testimony, positive testimony. Okay.
Yes.
Patrick Kenan says, I'm from Eastern Manafa district near Kenya. We have students with the parents having Kenyan numbers. It doesn't allow them. Okay.
Students with parents Kenyan numbers, yes, it does. When you're registering a Kenyan a phone number, especially when it comes to parents, teaching staff, there's a country code. You just have to select that where you see the flag, then you can be able to select the country. If it's Kenya, it will be show Kenya in brackets plus 254.
Okay, my audio is switched off. Of course, if your audio switches off, you log off and come back again. Yes. Naura, we answered that, I think. Eric, how can we transfer those students who fail to get their classes set due to system error? Because even they cannot be promoted. I think we talked about editing those after some time. Okay. Okay. I think the lady of the lean is back to say, for free access of lean numbers, let the system ask schools to first confirm the transfers, so that if it is transferring to a new school, the former school should approve such a transfer, and only students who have cleared their school are transferred. The problem is that when the new school puts in the learner's lane, the system simply, I think this was the issue of school fees.
Yes.
At some point, we can look back, but for now, I think we had more challenges. We had more challenges where schools were not offering the liens, and yet the students had moved on. But we fully understand this, and we will continue the engagement. I hope we unmuted Edison. We did. Simon Sanya says, the biggest challenge in S1s and S5, most of us can't enter learners. We have many of them. I think you've been mentioning the issues with this.
Yes.
Okay, James, should we promote those learners who are registered wrong for editing to be enabled? Can look at this one. Is saying, should we promote those learners who are registered in wrong classes as we wait for editing to be enabled? Will you be able to promote them to the class you want? I think that is the bigger question.
Well, if I'm to answer that, one, I wouldn't say it's a good thing to do, but however, there's going to be that amendment period where you'll be able to amend the classes. So you can promote them for now. Then when the amendment period comes, you can be able to put them in the right class.
Okay, the link to the Google form will be sent. Okay, Patrick is saying some liens are not corresponding with the students' biodata when transferring. Any solution? What are we going to do with these liens that are not corresponding?
Okay, is that an issue when it brings a wrong lien format or lien it has not matched? I need to know exactly what error comes up.
Patrick Kenan, you would like to raise your hand? Okay, Patrick. Patrick, you want to explain something here?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Evening.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My issue is, for example, there are these students, they are from senior one, no, they are from a former school, primary school, so they were joining my school. So when I was inputting their liens, after putting in the lien, after entering it, it gives a name which is not corresponding with her names. And yet she claims that that was her lien number. Thank you.
Okay, maybe if I'm to answer that, that means the learner actually gave you a wrong lien. So the only way to verify how the system works, every learner that is registered in the system is assigned a lien. Now, if the learner gets a wrong lien and presents it to a new school and it brings other details, that means that's not the lien assigned to that learner. So the option that is available to get the learner's lien is use the search lien format. The search lien module, enter these learner's details and you can be able to get the exact lien this learner was registered with. If the learner was never registered, you will find that this learner is actually not in the system.
Okay, maybe they gave them wrong liens where they picked them from their school.
And I remember, Mr.
Somebody...
Dogu also mentioned something which I think the users can use. Every district has an education office. So basically you can visit your education office, visit the DO, DIS, they have access to the system. So they can be able to search for you for the lien for some of these learners that you may have the wrong details for in case the former school has rejected to avail the correct lien for the learner. And in case such lien module is disturbing you, you can be able to use that option.
Okay, our schools don't want to go to the DEO's office, and that is another issue, but collect the cases once and then go there once.
Once, yes.
Now, what should we do for students who were registered with the wrong parent's name? Will we be able to edit the name? What will we do?
Okay, now currently when you're viewing a learner's details, especially a profile of a learner, now in the system, when you go to parent or guardian, currently you can add another parent or guardian, or you can delete one. The system hasn't yet locked, we haven't yet locked that feature yet. So you can go and delete the parent or guardian, or you can be able to add another parent or guardian. For example, a mother, if the first time you had added a father. So that one is still available. It's under the learner's profile.
Okay, so that is guidance enough. Somebody is saying, check your chat, please. I have quite a number of chats to read from here. Okay, from Bosco Mombasa Primary School says, last year the system could allow parents individual numbers when uploading refugee learners. But nowadays, passport number is required. This gives different data. I think this was something you mentioned about passport number.
This was resolved.
Okay.
This was resolved. If you can, and it's still showing passport number, try to change your browser or clear your browser cache. Try to change your browser and clear your browser cache. It will show you that it's now asking for the refugee number. The passport number only come if it's a foreign learner and they're asking for the student pass.
Yasin Mwonge, unmute. Yasin is not. Itura SS, unmute. Unmute Istura and ask your question. Please just do not leave your hand up if you are not asking a question. Itura?
Itura, we can't hear you.
I think they are in the same room with many gadgets. You can't hear. Job Ogwang.
Thank you very much. I have a few issues. One, I use the 3 sets of devices, a laptop, a phone, and a tablet, but the system is only active phone. Tablet shows blank pages. Laptop also shows blank pages. How can I resolve this? Are you getting me?
Jenkins, continue. Continue, Jenkins.
Okay, you said when you use a tablet, you get blank pages, on a laptop, it shows you information.
Blank pages also on laptop, but phone, I get all the information.
Okay,
Especially
now on your keyboard, you're going to press a number of keys. It's called hard refreshing your browser. You press Ctrl Shift and R.
Okay.
Now, when you press those keys on your keyboard, it will refresh your browser, then you'll be able to see the information.
Okay. Then the other one is I have not promoted all the learners. I have only promoted those who have turned up. What if now they turn up afterwards, after the system has been closed? Will there be a provision to promote them when they turn up? Am I clear? Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Yes, first repeat your question.
I have only promoted those who have turned up. What if they turn up afterwards when the system has been closed for this period? Will there be a provision to promote them?
This one, we just have to wait until the ministry can communicate with regards to that. Unless Mr. Ronald has something to say with regards. Well, according to the EMIS calendar, the deadline is 5th of May.
So should we promote everybody even if they have not turned up?
No, you wait until they turn up.
Okay.
If they don't turn up within the time, the ministry will communicate on the way forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Dunga is still on?
Yes, Jenkins.
Yes, the next person.
Alan. Alan, can you unmute? Alan. Nixon.
Hello, now. My question again is about our primary schools. Now, you realize that when you send parents to go to those schools, they say the numbers have not been given to the primary schools. And then when you try to check in the system, it seems as if those numbers were given. But then when you ask the students tell you that those primary schools, I mean, like they registered for EMIS in their primary schools. So there is a misconception between the learners and the primary schools giving the feedback. But then when we try to send them back, you realize that some of them are now submitting those numbers, meaning the communication between the district official and then the primary schools and then the learners or the parents, it's not moving at the same pace. And now which is costing us, and yet the deadline is next week. So I don't know how we are going to work in that speed limit, that the deadlines will be adjusted to fit the confusion that's ongoing between the primary schools and then the students to bring for us the EMIS numbers which were given to them in their primary schools. And then you realize that most of some of our hard-to-reach schools, they have not been able to to make it to the portal. So I don't know how best you're going to help them to adjust, because I'm very sure most schools are not online as we are discussing right now. And at the end of the day, they will all need to be at the same pace with us. So I don't know how the ministry is going to compact them to fit that time limit. Thank you.
Okay, Nixon, why we are here today is for you as a secondary school and your head teacher to go to the head teachers meeting tomorrow so that you answer these same questions like we are answering them here. So I don't know if you are aware about that. And that is the reason why we are sitting here today. So that is one. Two, the primary schools could have had their challenges and they are not providing the link, but you can search for the link. I hope, Jenkins, that is what is possible in this circumstance.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Oluka Silas. Oluka Silas. No, we are not getting you well, Oluka.
I'm saying.
Yes.
I get it.
It is very difficult to hear what you're saying, Oluka.
I'm saying.
We can get you.
Yes, I have this challenge of learners which I try to register and the system showed already registered and yet they don't appear in my list. What or how do I trace them and bring them back to this school because it seems they are registered in another school?
Okay. So look, if you get such an error coming up, learner registered in a given exam year, then you can use the learner claims module, which has been set for the secondary schools, to be able to claim learners who are wrongly registered in another institution.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're in the district groups, I think Mr. Ronald, I'm going to share the guides afresh. We're going to share all the guides so that you can be able to look for a guide that can suit the functionality you want to perform.
Okay, I looked at the claim side of it. Then it has two. There's incoming claim, then outgoing claim. Which one exactly do I consider in this case?
Either or. Now, incoming claim is a learner coming from another school to your school. Then outgoing claim is a learner leaving your school and another school has claimed that learner. So basically, whichever tab you're on, as long as you click the button claim learner, you will be able to perform the action.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Oluka. And for those who are not yet on the WhatsApp group, I've shared in the chat. Otherwise, most of the questions may not be answered here, and there are many friends of ours who are ready to answer these questions. Okay, Simeo, okay. Bazirake, are you looking for us, Bazirake? Bazirake Simeo?
Can you recognize my voice now?
Yes, you can recognize you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Bazirake Simeo from Changa Secondary School. And currently I'm helping the people of Kigezi. And I want to take this opportunity to inform you that here the things are working very well, specifically for districts of Ruchiga and Kabale, plus Rwanda and Kisoro. But only I have some little challenge of some schools whose service providers registered, but possibly they moved out. And the emails which they had attached that they should access the exported files of liens cannot open, and those emails, their passwords cannot be reset. And accessing the lien number for a student from the system, when actually these head teachers sometimes are not aware, is becoming a challenge. And to them, they wanted that maybe if they can print that list and they have it in office, so that it can be simple for them to retrieve such information. But otherwise, the little other challenges from this side, I'm very happy you can solve them at the district levels. People consult, we give assistance, and at least the system is now very stable, not like at first when it would be on and off. So things are going on very well. Apart from that issue of emails, and for about 6 schools, and I think I had shared that problem Dungu, but at least it maybe in some days to come. So I don't know how you are going upon that issue. Thank you very much.
Okay. Jenkins, you want to?
Yes. In regards to that challenge has been happening across, and you find schools unable to access their emails. Now, especially those ones who are facing the challenge with emails, Mr. Simon, I've sent you a number. You're going to send a WhatsApp to him, and it will be able to help you with those challenges. Hello? Hello?
We lost you, Jenkins.
Oh, I think the network, sorry. I was saying that Mr. Simon, I sent you a WhatsApp of a number. In case anyone is having those challenges with the schools, you just send a WhatsApp to 0777 105 925 in regards to accessing an account. 0777 105 925.
0777 925 and it
0777 105 925.
Okay. For quick results on that. I know there are many friends who have challenges with emails, change of names.
Now, in regards to change of names and change of locations, those ones you need to write through your education officer directly to the ministry.
Okay.
Yes, because the name that you registered initially to get an EMIS number has to be amended, and that one has to come from the ministry side.
Okay. Jenkins, we are going to try and quickly wrap up this. I know there are quite a number of questions unanswered, but we shall take them to the WhatsApp group.
And some must be similar.
Yes, Mugisha Nuhman. Mugisha Nuhman.
Yes, please.
Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, this is Mugisha Nuhman, Chabuza Muslim Secondary School, Yantonde. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
You've gone off. We can't hear you, Mugisha.
Okay.
Hello.
Mudimi?
No, I didn't hear Mugisha's comments.
Mugisha didn't come. We shall come back to Mugisha. Mudimi? Mudimi James? David Oite Ojok?
Hello?
Okay, Mudimi, go on.
Yes, I'm saying I'm Kalinda Kwanma from St. Kitts Kibedi. I've got a challenge from the EMIS platform that I have a student who sat for PLE in 2019. He has the index number. It's the same as someone who did the P7 in 2020. When I entered that one in 2019, at the same time, it is bringing me the name of a certain student who registered, who did the PLE in 2020. I don't know how can I handle it.
You don't select the exam year?
I have selected 2019. It brought is in Karubo Ronald, and again I selected someone who did in 2020. Also, it is saying it protest charge, but they say the same index number.
I'm going to ask you to contact that number sent in the chat so that you can have that one-on-one, because it looks a unique case for now.
It's actually not the
I
first.
contact who?
It's not the first issue, and I advise him to create a ticket. It's still under investigation.
Okay, create a ticket
Whereby
on the system.
You enter your index details that are correct, it brings someone else's name.
So I wait here. You will collect it yet?
No, create a ticket. A ticket is you go to image support under your institution, then you create a ticket. It will immediately go straight to the ministry, and it will be followed up by an image assistant.
James, is that clear? Maybe Jenkins, give the steps.
Okay. Now the steps of creating a ticket, more of an image ticket on the system, is once you have logged in on your side menu, scroll down and go to a module called image support. Once you're on the module of image support and you select that module, it's under help center, you'll find another module called create ticket. Now under create ticket, you enter specific information, including the inquiry type, including selecting the item you need help with, the priority of the issue, the subject, and the details of the issue that you're facing. So you need to state for us the index number you have entered, the correct names are supposed to appear, the names that have come, and we shall see how to have that investigated and resolved. Can be an issue maybe with mismatch of information, or the index numbers that you're presenting are for actually the other learner and not for the learner you are shown. We'll need to investigate into that.
David Oite Ojok. David Oite Ojok.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have some few challenges with that, Miss. One, I have always a challenge of, for example, if accidentally you register the student twice, I find a challenge in deleting one. I don't know how that can be resolved. Then two, there are some students who start, for example, PLA, some years ago, and their details have not been captured in the system. We have a challenge registering them. I don't know how best that can be done. Sometimes back I contacted one person, and I was told the form was going to be sent for those students. So I don't know whether you have already worked on the forms, so that we can also register those students. Then three, you were talking about searching for a lane. I didn't understand that. How can you search, for example, a student?
Take the question. The code here. Jenkins, take the question.
No, I'm recording the questions. I'm writing them down, so he can finish at once I answer all his questions.
Okay. Lastly,
you're asking about searching a lane.
Yeah, searching for a student lane. For example, how can I search? Okay, is it possible for me to search for student lane, yet when I don't know the login details of a particular school that he or she has registered in?
Okay.
Is there a way how lane can be searched online without knowing the school login details? Basically, that is what I want you to help me on.
All the three questions you have mentioned, the first two were already answered, especially when it comes to deleting a learner who was registered twice. I had mentioned to you that they're going to, can you hear me?
Jenkins?
Hello.
I want to request, Jenkins, I want to request that I will give you co-host rights.
Okay.
We don't have to stay for long. I have to run. I'm needed in a meeting, but I know that the questions are being repeated now and again.
Yes.
So my wish is that, of course, we can't produce a manual for all questions, but let us continue asking the questions on WhatsApp so that the members who have already received information on this can reply some of these questions. But I request that Jenkins, you'll give some more time to the members and close this meeting when you are done. I'll be able to post the video, recorded video online for members to listen in. I have to run to Embassy House for another meeting.
Okay, that is very fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dungu. So I was responding to the questions you had asked. The first one was in regards to deleting a learner who was registered twice. This one we had mentioned that there's going to be an amendment period whereby the user can be able to request for a learner to be deleted. And this learner will be deleted. And at the same time, there's going to be a deduplication service that's going to be run anytime from now. And it's going to be able to cater for the issues of duplicates. The other issue in regards to registering learners who were registered some years back, we had mentioned that if a learner was registered below 2015, the information with your name that we had gotten was not tallying with the information that was loaded in the system. So that's why the index, the UNEB years below 2015 haven't yet been uploaded. However, the technical team with the ministry are looking for how to align them so that you can be able to register your learners as far as 1999. It will be uploaded on the system itself. Then the issue in regards to searching a lane, you can be able to search a lane with the system directly under the learner module. If your school is a secondary school, primary, any level, especially when it comes to secondary, you can be able to go to search lane, enter the exam year and the index number. So when you say does one require login details of the previous school? No, you do not require that information. All you require is the exam year and the index number for the learner to be able to get the lien for that learner. So I hope that answers that question. So which other hands were remaining? Have we finished with the, I'm seeing here, there's the, has David finished? Guess we're finished answering your questions. Please lower your hands to give others an opportunity to ask. Let's move forward to Stephen.
Hello.
Yes, yes, Stephen. Hello. Stephen, we can't hear you. You're breaking.
Hearing from you.
Yes,
you've talked about searching for a lane, but then I want you to be hello. Okay,
Yes,
you've talked about any. I'm having many students of mine in a senior one. But remember, they haven't been availed lane numbers from their former schools. So how can I try searching for lane? Because remember, by the time they registered for EMIS, they weren't being registered with index numbers to that.
Okay, now Stephen, if I may, I know you're breaking, but I think I've understood your question. One, when they are registering these learners in P7, they were not required to enter index details, UNEB details. So basically, the system, the way it has been set, search lane, you can search for a learner who has an exam year and an index number already registered in the system. So the quickest solution to that, if the learner hasn't been availed a lane, is to visit your education office, that is the DODIS, to be able to help you with the lien of that number that you are registered with. the lane of the learner that they're registered with during their primary. However, if this learner was never registered, you have a chance to register this learner as a new learner on the system directly. So in case you still fail to get the lane, you can register learner by going to the EMIS data upload and be able to register the learner as a new learner within your school. Does that answer your question? Yes, Steven is off. So we can go to Akim. Akim, are you still online?
Yes. Yes, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
All right. I want to appreciate most of my questions have been answered here. I had a lot, but one question is still, or one concern still disturbing me. I had a case where a student had to be demoted back from P2 to top class. And this is a student who has already registered for lean in P2. So what can we do for that student?
Okay, as you're aware that as you're aware that the system, every education level has an EMIS number. If you're dealing with primary, you're dealing only with primary learners, secondary only secondary, nursery only nursery learners. So please advise the nursery school to register this learner as a new learner. Then with the deduplication system, we shall be able to match the learner as one. And of which, if this learner was in the previous archived academic year, do not tamper with the promoting them. Let them just be registered in the other school as a new learner.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, because we're going to use the criteria where we're filtering out the first name, surname, date of birth, sex, gender, and parents' name. If they match, then the learner will be considered as one learner.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, then Eva and the SS, you can mute your mic. Eva and the SS, you are on. I don't just take more than 20 minutes. I see it's coming at 4:30. I have to also go somewhere else. Even the SS. Okay, then there's Madiba. Madiba, are you online? Okay, then there is the on, N0, I think 0N or ON. You didn't put a name of your school. Yeah, how about Sechito Charles? Sechito Charles, are you online? Okay, then Mr. Bruce. Yes, Mr. Bruce, you may, the floor is yours. Mr. Bruce, we cannot hear you. Mr. Bruce, we cannot hear you. Okay, as Mr. Bruce gets ready, Dennis, Miro Dennis.
Hello.
Yes, Miro.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I'm from St. Peter's in Kokonjaru SS. I have a challenge with the EMIS, particularly there is a learner I uploaded the web back. It started in 2020, but then when we try to upload it, the system says that you cannot upload the learner. The learner is below 11 years. I took problems to get his original slip, but when I look at the slip, it started in 2020. So how can I go about that challenge?
That in 20? Okay, but you get an error of learner is below 11 years.
Yes, there is an error of learner is below 11 years.
Okay, the solution there, create a ticket on the system and we can be able to investigate that, because this issue was last heard of, I think, around last year, December. So if it has come back again, create a ticket on the system and we investigate on how we can have that resolved and you can add your learner to the system.
Okay, then, thank you.
Okay. So even the SS you're on, I can see.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Ivan, the secondary school. It's the Christian speaking from Ivan, the secondary school.
Yes.
We thank you, your services. So far, so good with the questions I've had from other speakers. I still have two issues to be worked on, whereby to some learners have a problem of two learners, whereby I upload them. They have perfect index numbers, even because if the first student is in senior 6, he has his index, first slip index number, even UCE, but when you try to upload him, they say server not found.
Server not found or server error?
Server not found, sometimes they say exactly. Then another thing, some learners, we tried promoting the learners to the next level, but the system cannot promote them. It's just like I have a challenge of like 4 students, whereby they cannot be promoted to the next level.
Do the students have class?
The students are what?
Do they have class on them? Do they have a class to?
Yes, they have a class in, yes, they ran in their previous classes, but they don't get promoted.
Okay, what error message do you receive when you try promoting them?
When I try promoting, they don't even give me a chance of promoting them, because you see, when you're to promote, they give a chance of getting that learner. But for it, they can't even say that those learners are ready to be, because they normally say, no, there are no learners for promotion.
Oh, so it says there are no learners for promotion. Eh?
Yes.
Okay, basically, are you in the academic year 2023 or 2022 when you're trying to carry out the promotion?
When I try to carry out the promotion, I'm in academic year 2023.
And of which, when you try to filter and search by class, it shows you there are no learners.
Yes, there are no learners.
Okay, send a WhatsApp to that
Because some
number.
were promoted. I do what?
Send a WhatsApp to that number we had shared earlier, then we shall look into that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Now, that's even the SS. Now, we need to, chairperson is there? We have as well, who hasn't spoken? Has Mr. Bruce spoken?
Hello.
Those with their hands up, in case you're finished speaking, can lower your hands so that we can know those who haven't spoken. Those in the chat, we had agreed that the chats we shall post in the group, then we shall have those resolved in the groups. So, Mr. Bruce, are you on? Okay, have we completed? Does anyone else have anything to say before we close our meeting? Those with their hands up, one of you unmute. Those with their hands up, someone unmute and ask a question so that we can have it answered. Vision for Africa International.
Yes, hello.
Okay.
Yes, hello.
Okay. Vision for Africa, let's first start with you.
Yes, of course. Good afternoon, members.
Good afternoon.
This is Mr. Charles Sejike from Vision Profit International Institute in Kono.
Okay.
The challenge I got at first, I opened an account for the Middle of Africa. Unfortunately, I opened for the certificates ones. I didn't know that I have to open for to create open an account. You have to get an MSc number for the diploma certificate.
Audible a bit. And your background is a bit of noisy. Try to be a bit of audible. Hello, Vision for Africa. Okay, ON, are you online? Hello. Hello. Yes, Vision for Africa.
I'm back.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, then I was overview.
What was your question in regards to the EMIS number?
Yeah, MSc number. Actually, I created one for the certificates, and I succeeded. They told me I have to create another one. I tried. Now I have to create another account for the diplomas.
Okay.
But now it has took me 2 weeks. I haven't received the verification message from the email I used so that I get the email, so that I get the MSc number. So I've tried now 2 weeks. I failed to get the reply of the verification code via the email. So I don't know what to do now. Yet the time is going.
Okay, I'll send a WhatsApp. I'll get for you the code and share it with you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Wasn't spoken ON. Anyone else? We need to close the meeting. So maybe 1 or 2 more questions.
Yes, hello.
Okay, ON.
Hello.
Yes, introduce
Yes,
yourself, the name of the school, and state your issue.
Thank you. This is Okono Alex from St. Mary Center and also Pakarenya says a human. Of recent, actually this year we had a new program called AEP, Accelerated Education Program, introduced in our school, where we have level 1 and level 2. And now we have the learners who have reported in both levels. And initially last year, we were not having that program, so they were not registered. In this current situation now, I've been asking, what should we do? How should we capture them? Because when I look at the system, it has no provision for such categories of learners.
Apologies, I was on another call. First, let me repeat that.
I was saying, last year we were not having accelerated education program in our school, but this year we already have that program and we have level 1 and level 2. And these students were not registered. And when I look at the system, I try to explore, we don't have such type of provision such type of option for registering the AEP student. How are we going to handle such kind of students now? Do they also need to be registered?
What unique identifier do they have?
Sorry?
What unique identifier do you have to identify them as students?
They are students and they are also sitting for UNEP this year.
They have index numbers?
Those one in level 2.
They have
index number.
Okay, yes. You can register. Do they have combinations? Subject combinations?
All level students.
All level, yeah? Then that is okay. You can register them on EMIS under your institution.
Now I don't know which class now.
How are their classes graded?
The grade as level 1 and level 2. Level 1 are those one who have just joined. Level 2 are those one who are sitting. You know.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
help me give a detailed brief of that on as a ticket on IMIS. Then we shall be able to follow up with the ministry team.
Okay.
And we see how we can assist that
All right,
institution.
thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, who is that's Madiba?
Yes, please, Mr. Kasule Kalule.
Yes, proceed.
I'm happy to be here once again. I'm in Kampala, in line with the EMIS as a district support team of personnel or moving with the EMIS. I have a number of issues that I would like to put on table. We have been coordinating with Dungu, and the first issue is with the schools that have learners who are international learners, schools that have foreigners, and when you look at the timing that is remaining, our pressure from the people that are helping through the WhatsApp group are giving us a lot of calls and notice how we are going to help with them. I'm requesting if there is a way we can do things right to make these learners, those are the Southern Sudanese students, and these equated learners from Congo who are now in senior 4, but their marks are not equated. How do we go about that? Which knowledge can we give to these head teachers? The other issue is with the...
Let me first answer that one. As we had mentioned earlier, we're working with UNEB in order to have the database of these equated codes so that we can be able to verify them with UNEB. Now, so that hasn't yet been put in place, and the ministry is going to organize a special period when those learners can be registered. As you had had the number of schools who have learners below 2015 exam year, those in 2014, 2012, 2009 who haven't yet been registered. We're not leaving them out, but we're putting them on hold until the ministry has got a right period when we can be able to register them after the system has the data in place. Yeah.
Okay, then the other point is with the DEOs. I don't know whether on this forum we have some DEOs in some areas of the country where people have
it will be in tomorrow's meeting.
In tomorrow's meeting.
Tomorrow, Thursday, I think that's what the DEOs will be.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who have subscribed and they come back to us because we are administrators of this WhatsApp of MS District Support Team. And people think that we have a lot of info that we are giving them courtesy of the DEOs. And when the DEOs get to know that people from MS are going to call or there's an issue, they tend to toss the head teachers one-on-one and they delay the performance of the MS. So I don't know how we are going to address it either to the PS or there is a way we can make a report so that these guys speed up in the number of people who are still waiting to be given the passcodes so that they can register learners. Some schools have closed now, which means that people have gone home. Looking at the deadline that is remaining, really we're not going to beat the target. As EMIS, as we were moving in with EMIS, we are going to see ourselves that we are going to be left behind. And the other thing, the perspective report that I'm looking at is this part of CBC, submitting of results. Then they will look at the part of UNEB now as on its portal. It has that part of lean or NIN. Now, you will see that some learners are going to be left out because people are not working around the clock to see that we beat the target. So I don't know whether we are missing a link with the DEOs. Maybe I'm of a view that we may bring them, the stakeholders, so that we can tell them what really these people are going through. The other thing is with the support district, we are talking of the service providers. There is a company in Wandegea that is doing a disservice to us when it comes to submission of learners' identification number through the schools that they have tend to say that they are helping them,
but they don't give them updates as far as EMIS and the new developments that are coming. So what are we going to do with service providers who have been recommended by the district education officers? If we don't come on board with them, then we are not going to achieve our goal and our target.
Okay, so that one, of course, my hands are tied on that part because basically my side is more of technical. So I think this one should be tabled in the meeting that's going to be held with the different district users, especially the DOs. I think it's going to be scheduled Thursday or Wednesday, but Mr. Ronald Dungu will be able to communicate that. And in case you're in those district groups, you can be able to communicate this information to Ronald. But for me, I've noted it down. I'm going to pass it on to the respective person at the ministry, and they see where the communication gap is and how to address it so that the deadline can be met. We are aware that so many institutions, especially the international schools, haven't yet been registered. Some learners do not have student passes, a number of them don't have refugee ID numbers, and all that is aware, the ministry is aware of it. So they organize a special period when to register those learners once that information is available.
My last question. Yes, even though I'm one of the people who are helping others, but when you look at the loading of senior one, if the system accepts one learner out of the 200 that you may have on the center, is there something that is some learners on the ministry's portal has not authorized us to use the data, or because these are some of the things that we have to answer. These people are asking us. You people, you administrators of these groups, what do we do with such? And you will tell somebody that you claim, you search for the lien, but when you know even you on your ground, your learners, you have only registered one. That is crossing over to learners who have changed the schools, to those who are internally moving in with other classes. The system works very well. But these ones who are switching schools, how are we going to help our people so that reach the time of registration, reach the time of competence-based curriculum as they are asking for the results? It means we can be leading the poll.
As I still mentioned, that one, this one, you should address it to Mr. Ronald. He will be the best person because he will give the response, the ministry perspective. That's that issue that you're raising. Now, I'm going to allow these remaining hands. I see they're around 4 to 5. We can start with Hilda. We're going to ask your question quick. We answer it because we need to close this meeting in the next 5 minutes. I have another meeting to prepare for. Hilda. Hello, Hilda. I can see your mic is unmuted. Okay, if there's nothing from Hilda, OJ Wilson. OJ Wilson. Okay, if there's no response from there, Yasin Mwonge. Giving it 5-10 seconds. If you don't respond, we pass it to the next person. Yasin Mwonge. Okay, Opono Alex. Opono Alex Adjumani. Okay, Itula SS. Itula SS. Okay, Mr. Bruce. Mr. Bruce. ICT. Okay, Tumukunde James. Tumukunde James. Okay, Oluka Cyrus. Lucas Cyrus. So, well, if there's no response from these members, I want to thank everyone who has attended this meeting. I know Mr. Ronald Dungo has gone for another meeting, and I'm also engaged. I'm waiting for another meeting at 4:30. But I thank you for the time you have spared to be able to attend this meeting. I hope it has been fruitful. As we agreed, we shall continue in our discussions in the WhatsApp groups. And we have a number of experts that have come there. Myself, I have a lot of work on my hands. That's why you see me rarely commenting in those groups. When I have some time, I'll be able to. However, when we have these trainings, please endeavor to attend, because that's the only time I can get some time off to come and assist the teams in regards to any issues of EMIS. So, and thank you. Have a good evening and a blessed week.